Welcome back to another edition of WDEE-TV Headline News, coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Top 5 news stories for today, Friday, November 21st, 2014. I'm Michael G. Nastos reporting. Our first story coming to you from the Ann Arbor News and writer John Counts. The 19-year-old Monroe man driving a pickup truck in a two-vehicle crash that killed 2 Tecumseh teens on US 23 last summer could soon be facing criminal charges. Those charges were submitted to the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office this week. Sergeant Mark Thompson of the Michigan State Police confirmed on Thursday. One of the counts police are seeking against the man is operating while intoxicated, causing death, though prosecutors do make the final determination when authorizing those charges. Dakota Gonzalez and Kurt Orlovsky were killed when the driver of the pickup truck crossed the US 23 median near the Michigan Avenue exit in Pittsfield Township and struck their vehicle head-on July 3rd. State police initially indicated they believed the 19-year-old Monroe man had been drinking. Prosecutors then requested further information about the incident. Officials also had to wait on toxicology reports to be completed. Gonzalez, 19, and Orlovsky, 18, were both college students working at the University of Michigan for the summer. Gonzalez went to Cornerstone University and played soccer for the school, while Orlovsky was a student at Northwood University. The 2 teenagers were graduates of Tecumseh High School and played soccer at the school. A 23-year-old woman was in the car with Gonzalez and Orlovsky. She survived the crash. The 19-year-old has not been formally charged with a crime and so is not being identified. More information on our local news links feed on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Coming up next, 186 homes plus commercial buildings are proposed to be built on 50 acres south of Ann Arbor.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to WDEE-TV Headline News, coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Thanks to my producer and coffee brewmeister extraordinaire, Ray B. today. This story comes from the Ann Arbor News and writer Tom Perkins. The Pittsfield Township Planning Commission will consider preliminary site plans for a 50-acre mixed-use development on the northwest corner of State and Textile Roads. Plans submitted by Farmington Hills-based Schaefer Development call for 114 detached single-family houses, 72 duplex-style residential units, and 28,900 square feet of commercial space fronting State Road. The project, called Blue Heron Hills, is part of what's known as the Cody Farm, which totals 127 acres and had been listed for $8 million. The 72 attached units would be built in 36 duplex buildings, which would abut the development's commercial usage. Among the amenities, Township Planning Commission consultant Ben Carlisle highlighted in a memo to the Commission are on-street parking, an external and internal sidewalk set, a park, commercial space built to the street, and connected pathways. Schaefer must also submit a mitigation plan for the parcel's 3.5 acres of wetlands. This area is zoned as a planned unit development and is intended to serve as a mixed-use node concept per the township's master plan. Carlisle wrote this in the memo that he sent. Construction is underway on the first phase of a mixed-use senior village on the intersection's southwest corner. There is a preliminary discussion of Thomson Reuters moving part of its company to the intersection's northeast corner. More on this story as it develops and information as we have it on our website, the local news feeds link at WDEE-TV.com. When we get back to news, Beth Bashert has filed for an open Ypsilanti City Council seat.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the Wolverine Grill, located at 228 West Michigan Avenue, Ypsilanti, Michigan. Check us out on the internet at thewolverinegrill.com.
We're back with more from WDEE-TV headline news. As the sign says, local news on your schedule. Top 5 stories being reported today. This story, once again, from the Ann Arbor News and writer Tom Perkins. Community activist Beth Bashert is the first Ward 2 resident to file as a candidate to fill a vacancy on the Ypsilanti City Council. Bashert has worked on numerous campaigns for candidates and initiatives over the last 15 years or so, and said her familiarity with council and local politics is one of her strengths. She's quoted as saying, "I bring a lot of experience in working with many people on council through various campaigns. I've got a lot of experience working in the city and feel like I have a strong base of knowledge of the voters and the community through all that work." She continued, "I don't care about being right or whose idea it is. If it's the right idea, I want to help execute it and do whatever I can." The vacancy was left by former council member Susan Moeller, who resigned suddenly from her seat in early October, leaving a vacancy in Ward 2. The council must approve and appoint someone to fill the remainder of the term, which runs through 2016, though voters could have a say if a city election is held prior. Now, at this point, no other applicants have submitted paperwork as of November 19th, but that could change. Most recently, Bashert worked as Mayor Amanda Edmonds' campaign manager, previously worked on Mayor Paul Schreiber's campaigns. She's also been a part of various equality, tax, and transportation initiative campaigns. Beth Bashert continued, "Ypsilanti right now is a combination of great opportunity and great problems at the same time. We've got a growing downtown area. We've got some new and exciting businesses. There's a strengthening relationship with EMU, and there are new businesses coming here that are finding it's not just a great place to build, but a great market." She also said, "I've been in the community for 24 years. I'm highly visible and accessible, and I would be readily available to constituents if I were given the position." Eligible candidates must have resided in Ward 2 for at least 30 days prior to appointment and be registered to vote in Ward 2 before November 1st of 2014. Beth Bashert also said, "I've got a lot of respect for council. They work hard and care about the community, and they've done a fantastic job weathering some pretty stressful choices that were made. And I'll be honored to represent my community." More on the story about Beth Bashert, I'm sure upcoming, but you can find out on our local news feeds link on our website about her, WDEE-TV.com online. Coming up next after our break, an Ann Arbor man is headed to trial over alleged embezzlement from the Halloween City Company.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to WDEE-TV headline news, coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Our top 5 stories for this Friday, and this one coming again from the Ann Arbor News and writer Ben Freed. A 39-year-old Ann Arbor man accused of embezzling money from a now-closed Halloween City store in Canton will likely stand trial in Wayne County Circuit Court, according to a report from Hometown Life. Jeremy Harrison Matthews has claimed that he was robbed of $9,108 outside the seasonal store, but Canton Police Lieutenant Mike Steckel told Hometown Life that he told multiple versions of the robbery, all of which were inaccurate. A police investigation revealed that Matthews may have stolen upwards of $30,000, and he is facing trial on charges of embezzling, larceny in a building, making a police report involving a felony. Barring a plea deal, the case will go to trial where Matthews could face up to a total of 13 years in prison if convicted and given the maximum sentence for all 3 counts. More on this story on our local news feeds link on our website at WDEE-TV.com. And when we return, our number 5 story as we wrap things up, a new Washtenaw County photo ID card program is getting a final approval.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Hikes Decorated Apparel, located at 133 West Michigan Avenue, Ypsilanti, Michigan. Check us out on the internet at hike.com.
Welcome back to our last news story today, coming from WDEE-TV Headline News, sharing Michigan with the world. In our story, number 5 of the top 5, coming again from the Ann Arbor News and writer Ben Freed. The Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners gave final approval Wednesday night to a first-of-its-kind county photo identification card. The cards will be issued through the office of the county clerk and will cost $25. Keita Cowan said you need photo ID for a whole host of things. Specifically, it can be very difficult to obtain housing without proper identification. Keita Cowan is the CEO of Synod Community Services, one of the main proponents of the new program. She continued, you can't even get a library card without a photo ID. Cowan explained that in order to get an ID from the county, applicants would have to apply enough documentation and supply it to get them over a 300-point eligibility hurdle. She said, we have a list of documents and each one has a point value. You have more than 300 points, and at least one of the documents provided has to have a photograph of you or include fingerprint verification. Applicants must also prove Washtenaw County residency in order to receive an ID card. The commissioners voted to approve the program 6-2, with Republican commissioners Alicia Ping and Dan Smith voting against the measure. Smith described the new program as a political move and said that he's skeptical that the need is high enough to justify the county's spending money to start the program. He said it's getting more into an area of substantial startup costs and substantial operating costs, and there's just no need to do it. The state of Michigan has the Michigan ID card that you can get for $10 at the Secretary of State's office. They even have a list of criteria where they will waive that fee. When people don't have IDs, it keeps them from taking part in community life, and they are sometimes afraid to call the police if they have been the victim of a crime. The sheriff was here at the last meeting to speak in favor of this and how it could help our residents. The program is projected to cost the community approximately $62,000 in 2015, but is expected to bring in about $12,500 in revenues for a net cost of about $45,500. Money would go towards paying a half-time employee to run the program, as well as supplies and startup costs. This program rollout will likely take a few months, expecting residents to be able to obtain new county-issued IDs by mid-spring of 2015. More information on this story on our website at WDEE-TV.com. Look for our local news links. Coming up, our WDEE-TV Weekend Sports and Entertainment Report. Here's our final segment of news, along with sports and music entertainment news from WDEE-TV.com for this day. The EMU football squad may be down in the dumps, but the men's basketball team is looking pretty good. Raven Lee, Mike Talley, and Carrington Ward combined for 57 points to help the EMU Eagles take control in the second half of their game Monday against the formidable Hoopsters from Oakland University, putting the Eagles at a 2-0 mark early season record via their 89-77 victory. The EMU points total was the most the Rob Murphy coached team has achieved against a Division I school in his tenure. Lee scored 24 points to lead all players. Talley tallied 11 of the points on the bench, coming off the bench, I should say, while Ward netted 22 points alongside his 12 rebounds. The Eagles host the EMU Showcase Tournament this weekend at the Convocation Center, welcoming teams from Youngstown State, Longwood, and the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Meanwhile, last evening on the hard court of the Chrysler Center, the Wolverine men's basketball team had a tough go at it, defeating the University of Detroit Titans in a battle for bragging rights in southeastern Michigan, 71-62. The Titans were led by Juwan Howard Jr., namesake son of the Fab Five star, NBA championship veteran, and current Miami Heat assistant coach. Howard Jr. had 24 points to top all scorers and 8 rebounds. Karis LeVert asserted himself as Michigan's leading scorer with 21 points last night and 9 rebounds, leading an 11-0 run that secured the victory for John Beilein's Charges. Zach Irvin finished with 18 points, while Derek Walton padded the point total with another 16. Detroit is now 1-2, while the 24th ranked Michigan team is 3-0. It was the 14th straight win for Michigan over the U of D. Yet another MLB player and University of Michigan alumnus has made it to the front office of a big league club. After being a minor league all-star on several levels, infielder Chris Getz from Southfield played 7 seasons with the Chicago White Sox, Kansas City Royals, and Toronto Blue Jays before hanging up his spikes to become an executive. He was named baseball operations assistant with the Royals and will work in player personnel and development. Tim Buckley, Mile and Dragway's Super Pro and Division III champ, made the long trek to Pomona, California with his family and his Fast Bucks rear-engine Chevy-powered dragster in search of a national championship last weekend at the NHRA Finals. He registered his quickest ever 8th-mile run in time trials, but in first round of eliminations out of the 7-car field was eliminated. Buckley fouled out by a mere 4/10,000ths of a second against Division II champ Cliff Carr out of Tennessee. In WDEE-TV headline music and entertainment news, the pre-Thanksgiving weekend is filled with some tasty music, not a turkey in the bunch. Tonight, trumpeter Marcus Belgrave is joined by cellist Mike Carub, bassist Ibrahim Jones, and keyboardist Mike Malice in the second of the Jazz at the Volt series at the Detroit Marriott at the Ren Sen. Frank Paul's Little Bang Theory play music behind Alfred Hitchcock's silent 1927 film The Lodger. My producer Ray is interested in that film for sure. It's at the DIA as part of the Detroit Film Theater series. Savoy Brown is still going. They're at the Magic Bag in Ferndale. Howard Glazer showcases hard blues from his new CD at the American Bar and Grill at 465 South Schaefer in Detroit. And the Greenwood Coffee House in Ann Arbor presents Andrew and Casey Calhoun. Naima Shambouget and Eric Watson lead their bands tonight and Saturday, respectively, at Baker's Keyboard Lounge, Livernois and West 8 Mile. The Rhythm Kings and Marcia Ball are in for back-to-back nights, respectively, at Callahan's in Auburn Hills, while the jazz-funk group Spare Parts from Chicago will play over the weekend at Clift Bells with bassist Colin Scott, keyboardist Kevin Kozel, and drummer Mike Bruno. The band released their fourth CD on the Rope-A-Dope label earlier this year. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., it's brunch giving at Bonacera on Michigan Avenue in downtown Ypsilanti. At 2 p.m., it's a rockabilly riot at the Scarab Club on Farnsworth behind the DIA, featuring special guest, the legendary Johnny Powers. The third Cosmic Jazz presentation is headlined by Dr. Clifford Sykes, directing the Detroit Drum Choir at 20 by 15 at the Russell Industrial Complex with the Relativity Ensemble and the Alan Barnes Sax Choir opening. Also Saturday, Sarah Swanson sings at the Crazy Wisdom Bookstore's Tea Room. The Ten-Tet Jive Colossus is at the Heidelberg, featuring guitarists Shelley Catalan, Rich Wright, and Ed Green, keyboardist Michael Ager, trumpeter Ross Huff, and baritone saxophonist David Swain. Various artists are singing for love and justice starting at 7 p.m. in a benefit show at the First United Methodist Church, 120 South State Street in Ann Arbor. Jazz lovers get to enjoy Jackie Ryan with the Ellen Rowe Trio at the Carytown Concert House or pianist Benny Green at the University of Michigan Museum of Art. We mentioned these artists yesterday on the broadcast. Finally, tomorrow night, Charlie Dentel will be at the Coffee Bean Company in Plymouth Township at 884 Penniman Avenue. Tuesday night, it's an all-star group of world-class improvisers from Chicago at Trinosophes. The ensemble Get Go features drummer Jeremy Cunningham, bassist Anton Hatwich, pianist Paul Giolorenzo, trombonist Jeb Bishop, and saxophonist Mars Williams. Their Delmark Records CD from earlier this year, Force Majeure, is a tour de force. We encourage you to check out and support artists in their endeavors. And a reminder, post your local events on Facebook, and please do it at least a week in advance. You will get coverage from us. And that is WDEE-TV headline news for Friday, November 21st, 2014. My name is Michael G. Nastos. Also want to tell you that starting next week, WDEE-TV will be previewing and giving you information on the top jazz CDs of 2014. We'll do that all the rest of November and into December. We will see you next week. I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.